Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Saturday Weekend Review Edition.
It is Saturday. Actually, we're not recording it. It is the weekly review or wrap up. How are you, Bob? You fired up?
I'm struggling like you are. It's weird to do these live on a Saturday morning. I can't even seem to get the right camera working, and I am freezing because I just turned the heater on out here. So it's probably a balmy 47, 48 degrees.
Well, that'll keep you more alert. You won't fall asleep out there. How about that?
Might make this the quickest weekly wrap up that we've ever done.
Very possible. Very possible. Well, as we said,
good for everyone.
Correct. Well, this is today's Antidote, and I'm Tom Brush, and that's Bob Graham. And we come to you daily, except for Sundays, bringing you that one thing to help you try to move forward with yourself, your organization, your team, your business. And whether you use that one thing today, or maybe you use it tomorrow or sometime in the future, we know that it will help you get unstuck. So we've been talking all week about partners, which I thought was a great conversation. We talked a little bit about what they are, why they matter. One of the best conversations I thought we had was about unusual sources, sometimes where we aren't expecting that we find them. And I think we followed that up with another great conversation about what they aren't. And I think that was also really helpful to go into a little bit about, when we need to identify that someone is not being as effective or is not providing or we're gaining the value from as we thought. And then we wrapped it up yesterday with why we need them. And I think that, for me, kind of one of the key things was that we just don't have to do this alone. So what was your couple of takeaways from the week, Bob?
The first takeaway, Tom, was that the word partner didn't land as well with some people as we kind of thought when the week started. That partner was, I remember thinking as soon as we started talking about it, it sounds too formal. Other words that came out, I think, on Monday and Tuesday were ally, people you can trust, people that are there to support you. And I thought that was a really good discussion about what it is. As we tried to define it, we started to say, not you and I have a formal partnership where we're committed to doing a whole bunch of things together, but it started from you and I having a informal partnership, which was we got together and we shared stories and we asked each other for advice about things related to life, business, simple stuff. I mean, I can remember you asking me one time, hey, I'm just trying to figure something out. Can you take a second and help me? And it was a simple thing. Like I could have done it with my hands tied behind my back, blindfolded, half asleep, because it's easy for me. Just right. Like yesterday, you said something to me that it was like I gave someone the same advice. Literally on Monday, I said those words to a person. I said it again to them on Thursday. And you said to me yesterday, hey, Bob, by the way, you should take your own advice. I couldn't see it. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't know it unless someone who trusts me, someone who cares about me, someone who wants me to succeed can say to me, hey, you know what? If you took your own advice here, it would really help you. And when you do that, I know immediately, I was like, oh, shoot, we just can't see what's going on in that moment.
Sure.
We're so fraught with emotion. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's worry, sometimes it's just aggravation that we can't see through it. And I think to me, that's ultimately the value of the people that we care about. They help us to see those things that we can't see ourselves. Would I have figured that situation out? Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. But it would have taken me weeks, maybe months, what you said to me yesterday crystallized something that, and then we came up with an action step that literally is a game changer for me. It took something that I dreaded and turned it into something I can't wait to do more of. That's a great partner.
Well, thank you. And I think that
thank you.
That's that's to me where well, I know some people don't view it this way. For me, partners range from mentors, could be a coach, and is also a community. That there are those people, because I think there are things that are very difficult for us to do by ourselves. One of them is provide accountability. I think that's one of those things that is really hard for everybody to keep yourself accountable, because you're accountable to yourself. All right, well, who am I letting down? I guess myself, which is we should probably place more value on. And often we don't. We're like, oh, all right, I'm just going to stop doing this one thing and it's not going to be that horrible. And so I think that's, that for me was a key part of that discussion. And it just brought me back to, someplace where I started. When I started my business, I had these 3 pillars, and that was the sort of driving force a little bit around what I was doing. It was partners, perspective, and then having a plan. And I think that the partners piece has just become so clear that why would I want to do it alone? Even if I could do it all alone, why would I want to do that? What fun is that, to just sit by yourself and just do something? There's nobody there to celebrate with you. There's nobody there to be like, hey, you know what? Get over yourself. Move on. Nobody there to ask the tough question. I think we had a workshop this week, and we had someone who was newer to our discussions tell us about a call that they had made. And I didn't even really know the person that well. And I think it was on day 2. But I sort of called them out and was like, look, hey, here's, you went into this call with one mindset. And that really limited the opportunities you had for that call to be as beneficial as it could be. And I think having that person who's willing to ask us the questions, sometimes tell us the things that we don't really want to hear, and yet we so desperately need to hear. You can't do that to yourself. I couldn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I thought you were stopping. My bad.
I'm stopped. Your turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I got excited. You're going to have to indulge me. I'm going to have a excited uncle moment. One of my nieces, my oldest niece, Katie, is actually listening this morning, and she's building a business. And it's so fun to go from being uncle, which is a great job. I love it. My favorite job in the world, to actually someone who might actually be able to give her some advice. And she had a comment this morning. Sometimes it is a team of partners too. I wouldn't have been able to start my small business without a team helping me and having my back. It made me excited. So that was a proud uncle moment. And I think it's funny. I feel so different when I'm a proud uncle. It's so awkward for me, but it is my favorite role. And the fact that my niece, something we did sparked her to have an insight this morning and something to share, is one of the most gratifying things in this whole journey for us, Tom. Does that make any sense? Have I completely derailed us?
It goes back to the conversation we had Wednesday about unexpected sources. As her uncle, you would kind of expect that you would be there for her personally, right? Mm-hmm. Those are typically the relationships we have with our family and our extended family, is that struggling with this in my life, maybe Uncle Bob or Aunt Sue or whoever can help me out. So you go to them and you talk to them about it. It isn't that often that we go to family members and think about, wow, they might be actually beneficial to help with my business, that they might have some experience, knowledge, or perspective that might change or influence what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I think how great a moment it is when you have a conversation with someone that you weren't expecting, and that it kind of came out from left field and it was something that you could add to. Again, it reminded me a little bit of when my cousin jumped on our networking event last week.
Yes.
And actually it was, made a compliment about my communication skills. And I've known him almost my entire life. And so to have that be a part of our now relationship makes, just is a cool thing to see, and to really understand that we can have all sorts of partners in all different parts of our lives, and how much more that enriches the experience.
And it also, for me, adds to my network of someone that I can call and share my concerns, my frustrations, my worries. I think the color of the discussion with my niece going forward will be very different when we see each other, or when we're in a family setting, be like, hey, so how's your business? How's it going? Hey, what about this? What about this? Because we talked back and forth a couple of days ago about business stuff. We've talked a little about business, but it's always jobs. Now she's trying to build a small business, and we've been talking about that. And it's just, you're right. I didn't think of it that way, but you're right. We don't know where those potential partners might be. It might be your niece. It might be your sister. It might be the guy down the street that you see him walking his dog. It might be someone at your church or synagogue. It could be someone you meet at a networking event. It could be the most unlikely person. I think, to me, it's having the open eyes. In fact, that would be my one thing this morning. Having the eyes open to the people that challenge you in new ways, in exciting ways, that when you get done talking to them, you're like, boy, that was the best use of my time. That's one of the things with you, Tom. I've never left a discussion with you feeling like I wasted my time. Not once, since the first day we met. Think of how many times you and I have talked. Thousands. Not one time have I ever gone, boy, I could have done something better. Geez, I should have just read a book. Every single time you've given me value. I want to throw some more comments in. It's only fun if we can get a nickname in, and my niece Katie has put in my nickname. I am Cub to a lot of the family, Crazy Uncle Bob, and for short they'll be like, come on, Cub, really? That's your joke? So if you're up here on a Saturday morning, you're getting a real insight into my my family life. And then this comment: family can really help propel, promote, and back your business, from immediate family to extended family. I'm trying to figure out who said that. And bear with me, easier said than done. I'm juggling a couple of balls. That would be my niece Katie again. Thought so, but wanted to make sure. So, Tom, what's your one thing?
Well, you know what I wanted to share, because Tim, I think, has a great comment here. And Tim is always good to, it's great. Tim is a partner to this show because he adds value. And I think that's something that we are grateful and appreciative of. He says it's incredibly difficult to be objective when looking at yourself. You are bound to get in your own way. Having a partner willing to give you their objective opinion is invaluable. And I would agree with that. And I think that's the piece that's part of my one thing, I guess, this week is, it's a little bit of what you said, is that, you never know where they're going to come from. And I think that sometimes we feel like a partner, like our discussion earlier this week, has to be someone who there's some sort of formal relationship. We're in a networking group with them. They're a coach, or they're a mentor, or, some defined role. Back to that. What are you doing? Some defined role that that is established. And the more I think about it, sometimes our partners are just people who provide their knowledge, experience, and perspective that influences who and what you are and what is real for you. I think back to, one of my favorite stories is that while I had been working on the gym at the same time with some of the same group of people, and you sort of see yourself in one way, and you do things that you do. And then when someone unexpectedly tells you something, one person said, hey, you know what? I've been watching your daily videos. This was before we were doing this. I was doing some other videos.
What?
Well, this was before. It was pre.
Were you having an affair, Tom?
Is it an affair if you were doing it before
No,
you had a relationship? You had that.
You mean you've had other videos? See, we could do the whole TV sitcom thing.
Correct.
I could totally fall into it.
Yes. And
were they better than me, Tom?
I was doing it by myself, and it was harder. It was a lot harder because I had to have all the content. I didn't have the opportunity to have a back and forth, which, what I find is every time you say something and or someone makes a comment, that influences what I might give back. And I think, so that was a challenge, but it was great because one person walked up to me and said, you know what, I've been watching your videos and I think they're great. They're very inspiring. Now, I was not doing it to inspire them, but that person providing that feedback made me feel even that more confident about why I was doing what I was doing, is that it was not only helping me, but because it was helping me and I was sharing it, someone else benefited from it. And I think while we don't necessarily consider that a partner, those people who give us feedback and willing to give us honest feedback, whether we know them really well or not, are really partnering with us to influence what's real about who and what we are. And I think that if we think about partners in a much broader way, we will start to realize all the partners that we do have and how they impact and influence what is real for each of us.
And maybe even rely on them more, because I think that could be it's not just recognize who they are, it's reach out to them when we need something. And that's something I've had to learn from experience. Like, you're doing a cover for a book for me. You're much more of a graphic designer than I'll ever be. And I could have fumbled with that all weekend, but when I asked you about it the other day, you're like, yeah, I think I can take care of that. Boom. Problem solved. I can focus on what I'm good at. You can focus on what you're good at. And I don't think asking you to do that was like, really, Bob, come on, you're killing me. You sounded pretty into it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, I think, is that sometimes we find those things when we start looking for them. We've had this discussion about, if you're thinking about this new car you want to buy, next thing you know, you see them all over the road, even when you didn't think you had seen them before.
Yeah.
I think if we open ourselves up to those partners, those people who are providing us feedback, thoughts, ideas, comments, celebrations, all of those things as partners, we are going to find more of them. And that we will start to have this larger and larger group of partners that will just make it easier and easier for us to continue to move forward.
I think that's a great place to leave things, Tom. It's been a great week. We've had some great comments. If you didn't watch an episode along the way, every episode this week really had some valuable insights. Take it, you can watch them while you're doing your laundry. You can watch them while you're dealing with the kids, exercising. It's funny all the ways I hear people consuming this content, which is the great thing about the world we're in now. Tom, right. I don't know what you want to play out with, which of our marvelous videos you want to share, so I'll let you steer that ship.
Sure. Well, first of all, if you are not yet a member of the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, please join us. It's where we're having not only conversations like this, but we are finding partners along the way. Those people who, whether it's formally or informally, are helping us move forward. We've created this growing community of those people within this Facebook group. So go to Facebook, search for Ring of Renegades. It is a private group because we want it to be a community. We want it to be a space where people can come and know that the whole goal of the group is to help one another move forward. You just have to ask to join and then tell us why you're a renegade. That's it. Then you can become a part of our growing community to help everyone move forward. And I would say that if you are struggling to find those partnerships, it's a great reason to have a laser solution session with Bob or I, or to get unlimited laser solution sessions, you can join our Renegade Success Network, where we are helping and partnering with people to help them continue to take that next step and move forward in their business. So thank you for joining us today on today's Antidote, Saturday weekly wrap-up edition. We look forward to seeing you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group with our conversation, or we'll see you on Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time for our next edition of today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you soon.
Are you struggling to make your vision a reality? Are you stuck and don't know what to do next? Are fear and doubt holding you back? The Renegade Success Network will help you determine the next steps on your pathway. Here is some of what you will get. Create your pathway call to start you on a better path. Unlimited laser solution sessions to keep you from getting stuck. Nurture your network events to build your network with other successful leaders. Monthly Renegade challenges to prepare you for what lies ahead. The Renegade Success Vault, giving you access to videos, tools, and tips on specific topics anytime you need them. And the Renegade Success Network community, an exclusive Facebook group of like-minded renegades, all working towards achieving their goals. You have a choice. Do it yourself and fumble forward slowly and alone. Or join the Renegade Success Network and be part of a community built to help you find your own pathway. Join today at RenegadeSuccessNetwork.com. Act now and jumpstart your journey on your own pathway to success.